Hello and welcome to my live stream. And on today's live stream, a normal catch up on some of the new releases and things going on. Of course, some chats around some projects, and some of which are going to be mine, plus a catch up about what's going on the channel and what I'm up to, and indeed where I've been for the last couple of months, because it's been a little while. In fact, I'm a little bit out of practice about doing this sort of stuff. So my apologies about that, but we will get there. We will get there indeed. So, of course, a live stream, an opportunity to have a little bit of a behind the scenes chat, opportunity to talk a little bit more interactively with you guys in real time, hopefully, and we can see how everything goes. So there we go. So hi, I'm Jon. I'm your concierge to the world of the Raspberry Pi Pico, Pico 2, Robotics, and any other fun tech, as far as I'm concerned anyway. This is my live stream. It's a little bit more relaxed, a little bit less focused, perhaps, than my general vlogs that go out on Thursdays, because it's really a little bit of an opportunity for me to catch up, to chat around things, and to interact with you guys. So please let me know where you are in the world, if you're watching us, and what's going on. I'd love to hear from you. Actually, I push out a lot of stuff, and I know I can see from stats that I get a lot of readers, but I don't always necessarily get so many comments back. So it's always good to hear from you guys what's going on. If it's your first time joining me on the live stream, thank you very much for coming and joining me. First time on the channel, great to have you here, and thank you for joining. If you've come back, then a great thank you to you for coming back and sticking with me. Yes, I know it has been a little while. So where should we go next? So as always, well, first of all, how are you? I hope things are going well. It's a bright sunny day and summer here in the UK, and I know summer distracts you, because I see when the weather is good, certainly here or across Europe, I see my stats drop. So I know the summer has an effect on all of us, and we all go and do other things away from our Raspberry Pi Picos. But I hope you're okay. Hope the project's going well and everything is going good. Where have I been? What's going on in me? Well, I've been having a little bit of medical treatment and a bit of catch up and doing some events, and that's all been keeping me busy. If you're a fan of the channel and the live stream, then you probably you may have heard me briefly mention that I was diagnosed with prostate cancer around Christmas. So over the last 3 months, I've actually been having a little bit of treatment for that, something called HIFU, which is really fascinating, because basically it's robotic devices that are used in order to treat you through your skin without actually needing to cut you open, which is quite nice. So yes, I've had a little bit of treatment for that, and more tests, and doing the recovery, because even when there aren't any direct knife cuts, recovery still takes a little bit of time. And I've also been out and about with a couple of events as well, which has been taking quite a lot of my time, because not only have I been sharing my content, but I was doing a lot of the organizing as well. And we'll come back to those, because I'll have a chat about some of where I've been and things that we've been out as we go through today's live stream. But feel free to reach out and ask any questions. I have got a question and answer session later. And if you don't fancy answering questions like that, but just want a general chat, then why not join me after the show on the DevEco Discord server? Remember, I've got a channel on DevEco's Discord server. I'm a passionate member of DevEco, and I would love to chat to you there. And it's always good to have an opportunity to talk more socially to people over there in just a chat session. So pop over there after the show and I will hang around for a bit and we can have a chat, and I'll look forward to that. So what am I going to talk about today? Where are we going to go with our live stream? Well, I'm sticking with the tried and trusted agenda. I must update this and do something slightly different soon. But yeah, look, let's have a look at what's going on in the world of the Pico and news, anything new that I've picked out and things that are going, projects, and there's a bit of a run on from projects that I think are interested in the news to projects that I've been working on as well. So let's chat about projects. I'd love to be able to talk about some of your projects. So, do get in touch and talk about what projects you're working on. We could get some of those shared, and I'd love to do that. And then we have a bit of a catch up around the channel and what's going on and where I'm going next. And then there's some time for some Q&A. So that's the show today. So please do join in and let's get going. So if, as you know, most of my videos are sponsored. If you work for a company or you are a company who would love to put a sponsorship on my live stream, why not get in touch and I can have your details here and I can talk about you for 30 seconds to a minute and put out your pitch on your tech. So get in touch and let me know. So let's get right into the news. What's the news going on in the world of the Picos and other fun tech that I think is kind of interesting? Well, this is probably the biggest null story I can think of. The RM2, the Wi-Fi module that's on the original Pico and indeed on the Pico 2Ws, or Pico W and the Pico 2W. Now, we know that PIMoroni have been selling these in the UK for a little while. And indeed, I've done some videos on them as well and demonstrating how to use them and how to actually add Wi-Fi to other RP2040 and RP2350 boards. But it's kind of interesting because Raspberry Pi have basically just announced it, which is kind of, wow, yeah, we've only been playing with it for 6 months and you've just announced it. Thanks, guys. It is nice because the means a lot of the technical documentation and data sheets are now available and out, which helps a little bit with using them. But yeah, no, RM2s finally announced. Good stuff, guys. I didn't find a great deal of other stuff that's coming out. There's quite a lot of stuff, new Raspberry Pi 5 sort of bits, including Raspberry Pi 5 power over Ethernet adapter at last, a power and Ethernet adapter and cooling all in one. I might show that because I might actually do some stuff with that in the future, but I haven't talked about that so far. Apart from that, nothing really encouraged me enough that I wanted to talk about it in the news section. On the other hand, other things that did encourage me enough to want to talk about in the news sections were Cornell students' projects. Now, Cornell do quite a lot with the Raspberry Pi Pico and Pico 2. They seem to have a course that is pretty focused on them. And their end-of-year projects, there's some really, really good stuff I noticed on there that I enjoyed watching. So there's a good little robot dog there. There's one of those sand tables with, the ball bearing that moves around that I really love. I must build one of those myself. There's some really good projects. Go take a look at those. I enjoyed having a look through some of the stuff that other people have pulled out hair trying to build, not just me. So always good to see other people's work. So I will give them great gratitude and the stuff. Me, what are my projects and stuff? Well, or me in the news. So me in the news, I guess we had a big local conference called Evolve 25 run by my friends at Silicon Brighton here down in Brighton in the UK. And Rex P1, my ROS2 Droid was center show down there, going around engaging with all of the attendees, going around them in the queue, so we're checking in and stuff. And I had a great day down there showing off RexP1, and indeed organising a massive area for that, which I'll talk a bit more about as we go through. But yeah, I've actually got some great shots from lots of other people of my project on social media, which is nice. So, hey, as far as I'm concerned, that's the news. Didn't quite make the BBC, sadly. Perhaps next year. So those are the main stories. It's been quiet. I guess it's summer again, and unlike summer last year, I imagine we're not going to get an RP2040 2350 launched again. So I don't think there's going to be another one of those this year. So I imagine that summer's going to be a bit quieter. So yeah, if I've missed anything in the news, and I do miss stuff, please do get in touch and let me know, and I can make sure I can mention it next time, or we can, I can get a special bulletin out. Please, yeah, let me know the stuff that you'd like me to be talking about and you think is important going on in the market. So projects, what's the projects that have been going on? Well, I've had a lot of projects. I tend to queue up my projects so that and my project videos coming out, so that I get something going out every week, whether my projects are going well or not. So I'm perhaps in more danger right now than I am normally, because I've been busy and I'm a little bit behind. But normally I try to have a good 4 to 6 weeks of projects already scheduled to go on YouTube. So since we've last chatted, there's been quite a few that I've actually put out. So I've done a series on the Mongoose web server. The guys from Mongoose are really, really great and really responsive and helpful when things go wrong. And they've got a really nice web server compared with other strategies I've used for providing web servers on a Pico W and a Pico 2W. Theirs is definitely the easiest one to get going. And I played around trying to provide a set of web services that would put out these real key important stats from the FreeRTOS kernel. So things like how's the heap behaving, the number of tasks and what the tasks running on the kernel are, what their stack high water marks are, and things. These are really key metrics that are quite interesting. And I then basically, using the web services, were able to pull them across into Google Charts and actually show charting of all of that going on. And it was quite interesting because I thought I understood what was going on in the kernel and how all of my applications were running. But actually, I didn't. And those stats show some slightly different behaviors, which is, I think, quite interesting. So go have a look at that video. It's, it's good. The other things I've been doing are I've been trying to get stuff ready for RexP1 and sharing some of the technologies I'm using to get there. And one of the places I was going for RexP1 was with Bus Servos. So I've been using Bus Servos from Highwonder. I've been using them on things like, it's not quite in view. This one, where's that? Hang on, there's that robot arm there. Hey, so live show. Well, actually, that would be in view. Let me. So I've got a couple of robot arms. There's one there and one there behind me. They're Highwonder kits that I've used. There are others too. Let's go back there. So they all use Bus Servos, and Bus Servos are great because You can chain the interface to them so they don't, so they're a little bit easier for wiring. And they're also great in my view because instead of just sending an instruction of move to this angle as fast as possible, you actually can tell them to move at a given speed or to achieve a position by a given point in time. And that I find really, really useful in the world of robotics. So I was playing with them. The thing I don't like about bus servos is generally you use them with a driver board. And the number of different subboards that I'm using in my projects and the number of connections that I have to run adds risk, because every one of those connections is something that can go wrong. So I was trying to see, could I reduce those connections? Could I actually drive the bus servo directly from a Pico? And the answer is pretty much, yeah. Actually, it's quite easy. Take a look at the video. That talks through that. It's, yeah, it was actually really surprisingly easy. Similarly, I have been playing around with the 28BYJ48 stepper motor. I've done stuff with this before, but that was using the sort of driver board that comes with it, which operates it as a 4-phase. And as a driver board, it doesn't really do a lot that's really very clever. It's sort of, you have to do an awful lot in your code in order to drive it. And I sort of didn't really want that. I wanted to be able to drive it a little bit more cleverly. So could I drive it a little bit more cleverly? Could I do something a little bit different? Yeah, I can. And that's entirely what I did there. I modified the backboard, that stepper motor to be 2-phase. And then I connected it up to a DRV AM8826 driver board and used that to drive it. And that's really successful. And that's what's driving the dome on RexB1 at the moment. It may not always be what's driving the dome on RexB1, because I'm a little bit worried that dome's going to get a lot heavier very soon. So yeah, stay tuned, more on that. And finally, I started a series of videos looking at some of the new great Waveshare, particularly displays, but also their other RP2350 boards. So I had a look at their really massive display, or biggest touchscreen that they've come out with at the moment on the RP2350, the Touch LCD 2.8, which is really nice. The library is really good too, and much more usable than or easy to get working than some of the others. So like that board, be using that board again. So keep watching for those. And where else we got? So the other thing. Let's we'll cancel the sound on that video. And RexB1. I mean, RexB1's really been taking up a massive amount of my time. And the reason was because I wanted to be able to get him to evolve, which means that he now has a little screen in his head. He's got what looks like cameras but aren't. He's got some nice flashy LEDs on the front. He's got some nice restraining bolt switches on the back in case he should go crazy and I need to actually stop him. Yeah, he's moving around. In fact, I kept on adding stuff to him. So since this video, he actually had shoulder pads added, so that it looks a little bit better, and a little cup with stickers that I could hand out at the show. So he's coming along quite nicely. In fact, he's got to a point now where I think I'm going to call him release 1. Yep, there's a massive amount I still want to do to him. He's nowhere near where I want him to be. And there are lots of additional pieces of work I want to do to take him forward. But I think he's okay for release 1. And I want to try and get something out so that you've got all of the software and the code and stuff is available somewhere online. And I'll still come back. Well, when I come back to that, let me just, yeah. So Recipe One has been a massive amount of my time and effort. I want to almost create a little community for him on GitHub, and always create a little bit of a sub world for him around the releases as I progress them. And that's where I'm going. So in order to do that, what I'm actually going to do is put that up in a new dedicated repo to RexP1, and that will be a change from the Astrodroid 2025 repo that some of him exists in at the moment. And that will have all of the build instructions, all of the build files, etc. there. But that will be under a sponsorship access codes. So those joining up and dedicated to my project who want to sponsor the project will get access to all of the content for that. I'll still, of course, keep making videos about him. I'll still be launching some of the code and releasing it and talking about it. But the big stuff, or the full bill of materials and all associated assets, that's going to be on my new GitHub sponsored area. So so hopefully you'll like that, and hopefully that will be a good place to come collaborate and talk and help me take him to the next level, build your own version of RexP1, and we can have some fun together there. So that's RexP1. So I'd love to share your project here. I'd love to share your version of RexP1 here too. Why don't you tell me what you've been up to and what's going on in your world, and we can see where we can go, and I can share that and you some praise for the great projects that I'm sure you're working on. So I've been doing a little bit of travel, and my virtual slightly AI friend there has certainly been doing a little bit of travel. So recently you may have met me, and we might have caught up at Maker Central. I did a general attendee thing there, thinking perhaps of trying to present a little bit there next year and do a little bit more, perhaps have a little booth there with some of my other maker friends from the world of YouTube. And I've also been presenting down in Brighton at our local meetup group for makers like me, called Breaking Breadboards. It's one I co-found, and RexP1 took his first outing there. A first outing without half his shell and lots of, he had lots of holes in it, which in some ways I think they quite liked, because that meant that they could see how he works inside. But yeah, we've been out to Breaking Breadboards, and then with Breaking Breadboards, I've also been out to this Evolve 25 conference in Brighton. And not only have I been showing RexP1 there and talking about some of my other projects, but I also help organize a space for Breaking Breadboards. And so we had some musical instruments, we had some croquet simulators, we had lots of getting started projects, some medical projects, lots of great stuff to entertain people, and massive number of people coming via our area, talking to us about all of these builds and seeing what we could do. Now, I've been advertising on my main vlog for some time that I'm trying to save up and get myself to Open Source, which is a really big conference in San Francisco that is on about the 20th of July. Now, Open Source 2025 isn't going to happen for me. It's not going to happen really for a couple of reasons. Well, I mean, really, a couple of reasons. It's really going to not happen because of one thing, because of timing. and just where I am from my recovery from operations, what that means around things like travel insurance and things. So regrettably, I had to make the decision that Open Source 2025 is not the one I'm going to be traveling to. I hope I will be there next year, and hopefully things are going to be improved. But just, this was really quite soon after my op. It would have been 2 months, almost to the day, since my op, and I having to make a decision a little bit early before you're going to book everything because you're actually recovering. Yeah, it's just where it is. So I'm sorry, I would love to be meeting you all there, but I won't be meeting you there this time. Next year, perhaps we can do that. In other places that I'm hope to be, so I've noticed that Roscon, the Robot Operating System Conference, they're finally having a UK-based conference, and it's going to be up in Edinburgh in the beginning of September. Well, middle of September, beginning, middle, 15th to 17th of September. I haven't seen an agenda yet, so I want to see an agenda before I really confirm my booking and I'm going to travel for it. But yes, my plan at the moment is that I am going to travel up to Edinburgh for September and to try and go to Roscon UK. If you're going to Roscon UK, let me know. It'll be great to catch up and to meet you and enjoy some talk about robotics and some interesting robot projects. Cool. So we've got to that time of the show to talk about what's going on in the world of Dr. Jon EA's YouTube channel. What am I doing on the channel? Where is the channel going? What's next? Well, I always talk about what's my schedule, what am I doing, and how is my schedule changing? Well, I'm continuing to get those vlogs out on a Thursday, so they're sort of generally 10 minutes to sometimes an hour deep dive content on a project. They continue to go, and yes, little bit behind. I would have, should be starting work on August by now, but I haven't quite closed out July, so I've got one more video to sort out for July. I then do a 3-minute summary of those that goes out on the following Tuesday, and that's always in the vertical short format, so it's portrait. So they're quite useful if you want to know, is this for you? What's the key points before you sit down to enjoy my full vlog, and all 30 minutes or so of it. And then, of course, monthly, and I hope I'm going to get back to monthly, we're going to be doing live stream. And in between, I will try and get some shorts out. I will try to get back to doing some insider videos around RexP1 and my other projects so that you can just see what's going on and what I've been up to. They're different. I don't give too much of the intro. It's really a little bit of what's going on and where am I up to. So remember, we've also got that super thanks button, which is somewhere down there-ish, where you can drop me a cash tip if you like. If the stuff I'm giving out is helpful, always encourages me to do more. And I'm always very grateful to everyone supporting my work, because without you guys, this wouldn't happen. I need you to watch and I need you to and to help. Otherwise, I can't do this, and I'll have to go do something else. And remember, I've got these courses over on Udemy to help get you started and get you to the level that I work at. So, whether that's getting your environment up and running to be able to develop for the Pico, working with on some little tiny projects, going and building, for FreeRTOS kernel. I talked about that earlier in one of my projects. It's what I use really to get multitasking onto a Pico. IoT, how I'm actually, using the MQTT protocol on some of my projects on a Pico W, or indeed a Pico 2W will work well too, and web service clients onto Pico Ws too. And of course, I don't only publish stuff here on YouTube, though I do favour YouTube, I must admit, but I can be found across all the other social medias and indeed on my own website. So Q&A. I don't think we've got any Q&A today. I certainly haven't seen any just yet. Let me just completely check that. But I'm fairly certain there are no live questions today, which is kind of a shame, because it's always nice telling you what's going on and seeing what's happening in the world. So let me just check in my live control room, because I'm just not trusting the fact that StreamYard is actually propagating questions, but StreamYard is definitely propagating questions. Thank you for confirming that, Dan. There are no questions, so dull episode, isn't it? Well, I guess it's not dull, it's just actually avoids the terror of someone's asked a question, I have no idea what they're talking about, which just happens sometimes from time to time. So thank you very much for watching. Today, I will be doing another live stream. I'll do one in August, so I can catch up with you and let you know what's going on. Might have a little bit more details about my plan for Roscon in September then. So do stay tuned in that. And I'd love to see you there. I'd love to share some of your projects as well. So if you've got a project you'd like me to share, please do keep going and yeah, get in touch, let me know, and I can get that out there. Please subscribe and, of course, keep tinkering and keep enjoying those projects. Now, do remember, I'm now going to drop over to the World of Dev Eco on the Discord server. So why not sign up and join Discord? Go over to my channel, Dr Jon EA, on that server, and we can have a chat about the stuff going on. And, you know, you don't have to be on the record and on the video for that, which is all cool. So goodbye for now. Thank you very much. And I will see you all very, very soon.